The night we won the league or whatever, we sat down in the office and talked for a little bit. I go upstairs, I play some Call of Duty with Chad. We're talking about the game as we're playing, you know what I mean? So I can't focus. I'm getting worked in the game because I can't lock in Call of Duty because I'm thinking about what we're trying to do the next day. You know, that's where I've got to separate myself. You know, I can't. I didn't do it there. So we stop. We stopped playing. We're like, yeah, I'm going to bed tired. Whatever. Get ready for tomorrow. Get ready for the big day tomorrow. And I hear him and Mike outside. This is how loud they were. I'm watching a show. I'm watching this Cobra Kai show, which is very corny. You know, the Karate Kid thing. Like, I'm locked into it for some reason. I'm watching it, but thinking about the game and thinking about what we're going to do the next day. Because we still did outfield throws the day after we win the championship. Our guys out doing outfield throws, getting ready to go. So. And I hear these guys out there, and I look out the window, and Chad's got his shirt off, Mike's got his shirt off, and they're like, boom! Chad's doing a wind-up into a pitch. I can't hear what they're saying, but it's like, the work never stops. It never stops.
Hey, what's up, Florence Nation? Welcome back inside part 2 of episode 7 of the Game Report. You know the cast of characters up here with me. I'm Aaron Brodie. That's Mike Morris, hitting coordinator. Dennis Pelfrey, the manager of the Freedom and the San Jose Giants, advanced day affiliate with the San Francisco Giants. Florence Y'alls manager Brian White, and Chad Rhoades, the pitching coordinator in the Battle of the Bourbon Trail. This edition of the Game Report will be an all-star edition. As you know, we have now turned the page to the postseason series next weekend. It's where the all-star game meets the World Series. The all-stars of the two Florence teams take on the all-stars of the two teams in Lexington in a best-of-3 series. Game 1 will be right here at UC Health Stadium on Friday at 7:05. Game 2 on the road at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, and if necessary, Game 3 will also be played in Lexington. But before we get there, we should probably know who's going to fill out the uniforms for those Florence All-Stars. So we got the coaches here that pick the teams, and before you announce the teams, tell the world about the process that it was to pick your All-Stars this year. Chad, you can start.
Well, we didn't pick the teams. They picked the teams. So we did a ballot with all the players, with some front office too. We had a lot of individuals.
Brodie had a vote.
I did have a vote. So we pulled all those votes together, and we took the top votes.
Chad Rhoades tallying them up for 2 or 3 nights in a row. He got this guy, you know. So
yeah.
We had front office people doing it, and I think each of us coaches got one extra pick at the end of it. But
for a guy,
cool. Yeah.
But it's just ultimate sign of respect. I mean, you have your teammates picking who they think deserves to be able to go.
And they couldn't vote for themselves.
And they could not vote for themselves. Yeah.
No.
It worked out perfect. It was beautiful. I think we got the guys that did deserve to go, and it was based on merit from their teammates and the way they went about their business. So it was cool. You want to start listing off those pictures or what? Or you want to talk about more about the idea?
We'll get a comment from B. White and Mike kind of about the process of it, and maybe kind of how you formed your decisions. I know you weren't just going off numbers, so what else stood out to you guys?
The decisions, I mean, there are so many good players. I mean, I go back to that, but, like, when it comes down to it, it was just who are the best guys. You know, that's what I try to put in my head. Like, I don't look at stats. I don't look at anything like that. I just look at who's the best player, you know, and that's really what I did when I looked at it, you know, and I filled my thing out.
Yeah, the same thought process, too. I don't really look at numbers. Numbers always get me in trouble. So I want to know, you know, in my head, who do I think is going to give us the best chance to beat Lexington next week? So, you know, we each get a vote, and I want to put the best lineup out there. So I didn't look at any of the numbers. I wanted to put together the best combined team that we felt that we could possibly beat. And that's going to go down to, you know, defense approach, bases, who hits, who works hard, who's going to show up early, who's a good teammate, who's going to be good in the dugout if they're not playing. All those kind of things go into place and take place. And in my head, it's not just about who has the loudest bat, who throws the ball the hardest, who has the best ERA, who has the most. It's none of that.
It's how those pieces fit together.
Right.
How they work together. Like it's pretty cool. Like, and for us to be able to put that together, and first time ever in baseball too. I think we had the extra inning thing this year that went really well. but an all-star series too, not just a one-game all-star game. An all-star series is pretty cool.
It's really awesome. Well, the time has come. This is how it's going to work. We're going to have Chad read off the pitchers. We'll have B. White announce the Y'all starters, position players, and Pelf will announce the starters for the Freedom. So, Chad, we'll send it to you to announce the cast of bullpen arms and starting pitchers in a best-of-3 series.
And the way these are built, too, is all-star series, so everybody's going to pitch. We're not going to necessarily pick a starter and hope he's trying to ride out 6 and then mix and match. We're going to get all the arms in there. So we do have 16 arms, 17, I believe, with an alternate in there. So guys are going to get their work, maybe 2 a pop, 3 a pop for a guy, stretch out, play the little puzzle, make the situations and mix and match, and we have all the pieces to do it, so it's going to be really cool how to do that. In no particular order of votes, or I usually read these out alphabetical, that way nobody gets their feelings hurt. But it was cool to see some votes for guys, and it was cool when I was doing them to get a handful of position players and then see who they picked on the pitching side. So on the pitching side, we allowed them, we put the whole list of 26 guys and pick your top 10. And we obviously took more than that. We just wanted to see who people really thought were the best or who deserved. And it was nice to see how it shaked out. Nick Floyd, I'm going to start with Nick Floyd. He deservingly so. He shoved. I know going into that last game, I was looking at his numbers for the first time. Was a dude rocking a 1.4. I was like, that would have shown to me. The numbers aside, I'm glad he got a little bit of correlation between some of his good outings and bad outings. He learned who he was. I'm really glad that he's a part of it. We have Yannick Villalobos, left-handed. I think he believed he had the most votes. So I think everybody, all the hitters too, that had to face him, were going to put him on there. His fastball was pretty electric all summer. It was nice to see him come in, get in shape, and evolve and become better, and still was a consistent threat and dominating on the mound. Good inning last night. Jared Cheek, well, he was on my list. He was on majority of guys' list too. The guy can really pitch. He knows how to work his fastball up in the zone to challenge, and he developed some pitches over the course of this summer too. He wanted to experiment this league while having dominating stuff, and he did so. It was cool to watch him. Joe Doherty, we talked about him, became a mainstay in the back end of the bullpen to lock stuff down and drive the hammer through, and he did that with regularity. His slider developed over the course of the summer too, so it was cool to watch him. Carl Craigie, he was picked. Everybody's going to pick him. Carl right now is battling a little bit of soreness and tightness, so he won't be able to participate in that. But I want to make sure to mention Carl with a K. Big time. We saw him out last time. His split was on point, and he's nasty, man. Every single hitter picked him. Kevin Hahn, I thought this one was a big one for Kevin Hahn. He was up there top 5 as far as votes that he got, and I think that's really cool for a guy like that to see and understand what his peers do see him as. It's somebody I don't have to seek out affirmation. It's like, I know I'm good. Like, everybody else thinks I'm good. And it's going out there to see him use his stuff, shift gears. The dude is very unique, and it's fun to watch him. Lars Liguori. It was nasty. We saw him. It was a big game. We saw him his last 11 innings.
That dude is.
Out of the last 3 outings,
it was the best part of the draft for me, was making sure I had Lars, because
that's the winning.
He beats the Freedom all the time, so if he's on the Freedom team, he can't beat us.
winning draft pick right there.
So we got Lars. Edgar Martinez. A lot of pitchability. The dude can pitch. He's fun to watch. He's kind of you can see as far as higher level game, and when the situation is going to dictate that a pitcher needs to be doing something, he's doing that, and then he's flipping the script on hitters and accounts, and he really pitches with a lot of feel. It's fun to watch him. Saw him last night come in and close the door, and saw him do a little bit of, he was humped up, and he was getting after it. It was pretty fun. Andrew McDonald, the dude's a buzzsaw, man. He's coming in, nasty stuff. He's cleaned some stuff up too, continuing to take tension out, but this is a different situation for him. It's more of his spring training, coming off hip surgery. These are first live innings he's getting, and he's throwing in the fire, and he's got nasty stuff. I'm excited to watch where he gets, and he's going to dominate over there.
A lot of body coming at you.
A lot of it, man. A lot of it. Jonathan Tripp. Best mustache in the league.
We don't forget about Pritchard.
we saw Tripp on the starting side, and we saw him on the bullpen. He grew as well as far as knowing who he is, knowing what works, and I'm excited to see him go in the future and take all this stuff in stride in the offseason and be able to apply that to a full season next year. It's going to be cool to watch Jackson Owens. You brought him up. Jackson Owens on the list. Like I said, there's ice in his veins, man. And when he did learn to control that tempo, we had those first couple games, it's like, hey, no, you control it. And he's learned how to control the emptiness we talked about. He knows who to attack and who not to, who to make the smart move. He's a really good pitcher. Rhoades made the list. Got a nasty slider. He's got a nasty slider. He's got a feel for his slider. He's firm with the fastball. His command's come along a little bit. I'm hoping he puts a little bit more focus on that, and we get to see him pitch on TV in a year or two and be able to say that he was in this league. He has all the potential in the world. Kenny Pearson, one of the guys that had the most amount of growth. It's hard to hit from the left side. And I was talking about that on there. Even from a righty or a lefty, that with that slot, if he stays through it's hard to square up. It's hard to hit. It's uncomfortable.
You can really see it from up top, too, last night.
You can really see it. He just has to stay in his slot and stay in his delivery. It's awesome. Sean Hughes, you mentioned the lightning bolts that he was throwing. He's on there, deservedly so, too. Hopefully he's going to find him a spot to get in there and punch somebody out. I hope we get in there and see him be able to execute some pitches. Wags, talked about Wags. Wags is in there. There's going to be a spot for him, too, and he's going to come in and throw on his nasty, mean, intended cutters, and he's still developing. Hopefully he gets to rip off a couple sliders and eventually gets to use that changeup. Bernal, Rogers on this list, and hopefully he had a little stiffness and tightness from the start before, and hopefully he's good to go. I was glad that he got in there.
Bulldog.
The dude was a horse. All summer was a horse. Came out, he works, he's good with the guys. He takes guys under his wing. He's been around a long time. He really deserved to be there, and I'm glad he got in there.
Yesterday.
Yeah. He's a bullpen coach, and you can rely on him. He's good. Matt Reitz got in there. I like that Matt Reitz got in there. Nice little cutter. He attacked. He did what he needed to do. Had some bumps and bruises along the way. A little bit of roller coaster through the middle of the season, but came back and shows what he is. He attacks. And sometimes he gets a little too aggressive. We saw where yesterday he attacks in with purpose, and sometimes he gets away from him, but he still attacks. He's never going to back down. I really like that the Bulldog's in there. That's what we've got on the pitchers.
So there's the pitchers for the All-Star Game meets the World Series starting next week on Friday. So now we'll turn it to B. White to announce the Y'all's position players who are going to be on the roster.
All right, so we'll start with the outfielders. Just go in order what we have on here. Mitch Piotnik is the first guy on our team on here. Holds down center field for us, kind of the captain out there. He communicates very well with the corner outfielders, telling them kind of where to position themselves, what he's thinking, who's to call off, so on and so forth. So he really takes control of that. And you see the at-bats come together, especially during the middle of the season. He's putting together good at-bats from both sides of the play, and it was loud. Hopefully get a little bit more out of him with that. Brandon Pugh out in right field. He's electric once he gets on the bases. He's able to do a few things at the plate. He can drive the ball. He can also bunt. He can put the ball on the ground and beat it out. We saw that multiple times over here, especially on the turf. It's hard to do that on the turf. I know you run a little faster, but the ball gets to the infield a little quicker too, and you still see him beat those throws. So Brandon Pugh being there. Blaze Spies. This is a guy I was very happy to see get in there. Left side of the plate. I think we talked about him a couple episodes ago where he's going to be a little early action, but he barrels the ball up quite a bit. He's able to go both sides of the field. He can backside that left center field gap and get those doubles in. Nice little bat in there. Then we have Rodney Tenney holding it down as well, our leadoff guy. Whenever he gets on base, everybody's watching him. The pitchers watching him, the fans are watching him, the dugout's watching him, everybody's watching him. I think we saw it the other night. We got here until a 1-0 count, and then the 1-0 middle pitch. I give Rodney Tenney the credit on that. Kevin Hahn was so focused on Tenney, fixing his holes, all his focus over on the bases, allowed Denicola to get that middle pitch, drive it out of the yard, put us back in the game. So that's our outfield. Infield, we've got Harry. Obviously, he's held down the 2-hole for most of the year for us. Loudest bat that we have in the lineup. Anytime he comes to the plate, there's a chance that the ball's leaving the yard. Anytime that happens. Then we have Kevin Watley, shortstop. He, to me, he's a little interesting. He's put together some really good games, and he's had some little rough games too. Whether it's at the plate or on defense, once he's able to control himself and to play and be himself, we've seen spurts of that. But I want to see a little bit more consistently out of him. But all in all, he had a pretty good year. And then we have Will Baker. Baker, he could bounce around anywhere. Originally an outfielder, he played infield for us pretty much the entire year. Bounced around from second, short, and third, and just very versatile. And whenever he's at the plate too, there's a good chance of doubles coming down that left field line. So those are the infielders. Then we got the two catchers, Mike Galino and Jackson Pritchard. Two complete opposites off the catchers. Galino's going to be more of an offensive threat, where whenever he's in the box, he's able to juice the ball. He's able to get those doubles, put together good at bats, very patient at bats too for the most part. And Jackson Pritchard, to me, on the defensive end, the receiving, we have that camera behind center field, and I'm able to go back and watch those, and he's taking so many balls into strikes versus these other catchers aren't really able to do that. So he's flipping counts for us, make sure that we're getting those 0-1 counts, those 1-2 counts versus the 1-0, 2-1 counts. And for me, that's big. I'm able to control the pitching staff and able to block very well. So those are the Florence Y'alls that we have going to the All-Star game.
That's a loaded look at some really good and complete players. So now we'll turn the page to Dennis Pelfrey, who will announce his Freedom All-Stars.
You gonna play a game?
Not really.
Yep.
Come on. All right.
Not really.
I'm gonna say my guy. I'm gonna say the guy on our team, and Mike's gonna give me one word to describe him.
One
I'm
word.
gonna give a little transcript.
Give him
of
two
it.
words.
Cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
You
I want
got
one.
2 words.
Two ideas guy.
Two
All
words.
Ready?
Ideas guy.
No one get a sheet. All right, let's go. The first guy, E.P. Reese.
Just a dude. I
dude.
love EP.
2 words.
Sorry.
A
I
dude.
love E.P.
A
dude.
dude. A dude.
He's exactly right. Very fundamentally sound. Does everything right. Puts himself in a position to be successful. Awesome. Great to have. Glad to have him. Came in later. Came in with the notion that he wasn't going to play a whole lot. Turned into playing every day and made the All-Star team. So pretty impressive. AJ Bumpus.
A dude.
I see the trend.
Play the game. Come on.
I mean, the man.
All right, yeah, he's right. He is the man. We miss AJ around. I think he's in Arizona rehabbing for a few weeks to get ready for hopefully instructs for the Reds, if they have it. If not, spring training next year. But I can't say enough about the guy.
Yeah, I would like to change it. RBI machine.
RBI machine. There you go. Now you're playing the game.
All right,
Now you're
all
playing the
year.
game. All right. Trejo. A dude.
Fun.
Fun.
Fun to watch.
Fun to watch. That's 3. We'll let it slide.
I
Fun to
can't
watch. I tell you what, the guy in the box
Nightmare.
is a nightmare. What'd you
Yeah.
call him? The
La Pesadilla.
nightmare. I mean, he is a presence in that box. He's fun in the dugout.
Mm-hmm.
When he found out we were going to pop bottles if we won, looked like a kid in a candy store. It was awesome. So,
He's got good, he sings down there. He's like the only guy singing. It's unbelievable. I love it.
he's a great
Yeah,
clubhouse or
it's him.
dugout guy. Since we don't have the clubhouse, that's good. That's real good. Ryan Danzaro.
Electric.
That's a good one because
Yeah.
he kind of flies under the radar a little bit. He finds that barrel. Like
Yep.
you throw the ball over the plate to him, he's going to find the barrel. He hits the ball hard. I was very impressed. He was a kind of an infield outfield type guy. They started putting him in center field, and he's
Yep.
as good
He's
as
good.
anybody out
Yep.
there. He's as good
He's
as anybody
really
out there.
good.
So it was nice to see. So he made it as an outfielder, but you might see him play a little second base in the All-Star game. Who knows? We're trying to win that game, so we might put those pieces together. Infield, Chad Cedio. A dude.
Dude. Like, the guy can
Emphasis.
hit, man. And he can feel like he's special. You know, it's really fun to watch. He's a good coach. I know it's way more than 2 words, but he's got so much knowledge and just sheriff. There's the 2 words. The
I
sheriff.
call him the general.
Yeah,
I
the
call him
general, the sheriff, El
But
Capitan.
we lost a game. I think it might have been the first game we lost, and I had him DHing. I said, "Oh, got to get the general back on the field, baby." So the guy does it all. He can play anywhere on the field. I'm sure he could play catcher if we needed him to.
It's the only spot he had.
Yeah, I mean he's
Seriously.
he's pretty versatile in anything he does. His at bats are very calculated. He's got a plan. He knows what he's trying to do. He's trying to
Always
juice
has a
balls.
plan.
So he's fun to watch. I think he hit in the 3-hole the entire season for me, and you guys know me. I want in that 3-hole. I want my best hitter there, and the guy that's going to do a lot of damage. So he's there all year.
He led the league in RBIs.
Led the league in RBIs.
Homers after that one last night.
I don't know. I don't
Check
know
on that
what their side was. At least our side for sure had his 12th home run, but he almost had 2 RBIs a game. We had 35 games, and I think he had 63 RBIs for the year.
63.
I mean,
crazy.
incredible. So, yeah. So, Craig Massey,
Tone setter.
tone setter. Yeah, absolutely right. I mean,
Just everything.
the guy. I keep saying he should be in the big leagues. He should be in the big leagues.
Right
Yeah.
now.
He would be a super utility coming off the bench or even starting for a lot of big league clubs right
Best
now.
player in the league.
Best player in the league by far. And we're going to announce MVP and all that stuff Thursday night. I'm sure he's going to get it. We're going to do something similar as far as the voting thing for these guys, for some of these awards. But Simon Whiteman.
Fast and dangerous.
Fast and dangerous. I did like Top Gun, like Maverick.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Maverick,
The
like
professor.
Like he is. I mean, you see the clock gears turning in the head, like every at bat, every pitch. We talked about it last night on air. His approach changes from pitch to pitch. Where you see a lot of guys, their approach in the box or their plan is their plan for the at bat, no matter how he's attacking them. But you can see the work with Simon in the box. Defensively, he's always in the right spot, making plays. Put him at third base yesterday, he's making plays. Hits a homer, you know what I mean? And dreams do come true.
I loved it.
Second of the year, though, right?
Second of the year, yeah. But he's a very fun-loving. He started to open up a lot in that dugout, and man, he's a cool guy to be around too.
Yep.
So, Fitzgerald,
special comes to mind. I mean, the dude can play.
Yeah, he's special. He made some ESPN type plays in this league this year.
That ball that Wiley hit, I think, in the Y'all series a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, he jumped up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's easily dunking a basketball.
He can probably dunk. Yeah.
Easily.
He made a couple in the hole.
Running
on the run,
jump
throws. Very solid, turns some nice double plays. But that's the biggest thing for me. The swing has progressed so much from day one here. Because I saw him a little bit in spring training. Then obviously a couple months off, he comes here and he barrels the baseball. It doesn't matter if they're outs; they're loud outs. He barrels the baseball,
Very
so
loud.
Fit really nice in that 5-hole for us. Logan Wyatt,
Born hitter.
Yeah, I like that.
Born hitter.
I think a lot of people look at that one too, and they look at the numbers like, oh, he shouldn't have made it because of the numbers. But it just goes to show you the guys can see the presence in the box, and he is a presence in the box. 2 hits last night. He is dangerous in there, so he has a very good eye. He doesn't swing at bad pitches, so you throw it over the middle of the plate, he's going to do some damage.
Really helps the Freedom lineup too.
Yeah.
Even if he's not getting hits because of the at bats that he works and the stuff that he does inside of the at bats, he's working a plan, and he got screwed on a lot of calls, but he never shows emotion on it, so it leads to good things in the field. It leads to good things in the dugout.
Yeah.
Like,
he got robbed of 2 home runs.
Yeah.
So one hit the foul pole and one went over.
It's not like they're fair balls,
yeah.
But he's a good ball player.
Yeah. Last guy, catcher, Marshall Rich.
He's another one that's like electric. You're going to put him back there, and he's going to bring you some energy.
Spark plug.
Spark
Speedy
plug.
Gonzalez. Like he just. I think with him, he has had some growth from day one.
Yep.
And I know I stayed on him a lot because I could see it. You could see what he could be. So I made sure I was on him. Like everything that I felt like he was doing wrong, he heard about it from me. It almost felt like his dad at times. Like just telling, hey, this can't happen. This can't happen. But he did. He learned and he took it in stride and he soaked it up. But he's exciting in the dugout too. Like he keeps guys up. He's looking to steal bases. All these things. So. I think that's all of them. So it was good, right?
That is a lot of really good players. It was the Florence teams that really dominated the standings in the Battle of the Bourbon Trail. The expectation is to dominate in a short 3-game series next weekend. It'll start on Friday, play Saturday, and if necessary, Game 3, Games 2 and 3 will be on the road in Lexington. Game 1 will be right here at UC Health Stadium on a fireworks Friday. First pitch at 7:05. So we're going to go a little bit off script here. We got about 8 to 10 minutes left in part 2 of episode 7 of the Game Report. And I know we talked about wanting to kind of tell the story about the coaches here. We went out and found coaches in the area. This is a tree, almost, a coaching tree that came back for the Battle of the Bourbon Trail. All these guys have a tremendous story and a connection to right here in Florence that we will maybe lead episode 8 of the Game Report next week with, when we're discussing the fallout of a short 3-game series and who won the Battle of the Bourbon Trail. That'll be in that edition. But with the last 8 to 10 minutes here, I thought it'd be interesting to kind of get your guys' takes. You got Brian White, he's now the manager of the Y'alls in the Frontier League. Dennis Pelfrey, who was the manager of the Freedom for the last 5 years in the Frontier League. And everybody else, Mike, Chad, feel free to comment. I know you've been around the Frontier League and affiliated baseball as well. And of course, Mike, you played in the Frontier League. You're no stranger to professional baseball. I think it'd be interesting for the fans at home who might not understand the caliber of talent that we've had here over the last month and a half in Florence, Kentucky. I would think it would be fun for them to hear kind of you guys weighing what you have on the Y'alls here in 2020 and what you have on the Freedom in 2020, if measured up against teams of your past. Where would this year's team fit in your 5 years? We'll let you start, Pel.
Man, that hurts some feelings.
Just want to know.
You gotta have them.
How comparable?
I mean, it's virtually the same, if not better. I mean, I think that you're seeing guys, and I talk about it a lot, like from Pecos League guys, and me and Mike have talked about this a lot. If there's a guy that does well in the Pecos League on a consistent basis, then he's got to be a pretty good player because of the situation that they're in down there and what they have to go through, what they have to grind through to stay consistently good, right? So it's the same thing here, like the guys, what they've sacrificed to be here because they're not getting paid. Now, they are getting compensated with the living, but they're not getting paid to be here. And you had a guy like Chad Sedio, for example, turn down a contract with Winnipeg where they're playing the American Association, half of their teams, but they're playing a regular season where they're paying guys, hosting him. He turned down a contract to go there. This was like a week into our thing.
The weekend of
I was
the
very impressed because he could see how good this thing was going to be for him in his career, I think, in the step. And he made that sacrifice. Not only that, but coming here and not getting paid, not having a side job to make some money to make some ends meet or bills, and you have guys that didn't show up because of that situation. So these guys that are here are a step ahead of everybody, because there's only, like we said earlier, there's only like 20 meaningful games in the country right now, every night. 20 meaningful games in the country, and we're one of them, and it's pretty impressive to see. So stacking these guys up against former teams in the past, I've said it, for a while, that team we had last year with the Freedom is probably the best team I've ever coached overall, especially if you add those guys in that got picked up. This team's pretty close. And then it's hard to say because of the arms. I didn't really have arms. I had a pool of arms. And obviously, if we're throwing the best arms each night for this Freedom team, we probably don't lose a game. And probably the same for the Y'alls. You know what I mean? So if they get the best arms every single night and they're available every single night, and you run it like a Frontier League season, the records are a lot different. We still dominate Lexington, obviously. But, it's like it's so hard to say. But the caliber of player, and I'll say, like, the best thing for me is there's this group on Facebook. It's Independent Baseball Chat or something like that. I can't remember. I'm in it. And somebody mentioned something a couple nights ago about the Freedom winning the championship. And they're like, well, nobody said anything about it. We don't know anything about it. And this other guy said something about this league is better and that league's better. So I posted on there. I said, there's former major leaguers in this league. There's affiliated guys, current affiliated guys that just got released by affiliate baseball, current independent players, and a few guys that are on the verge of being professional players in this league. And without seeing those other leagues, you can't say that league's better than ours. And I said I would stack this league up against anything going on in the country right now with what we got.
It's high praise. Mike, you played for Pel for a couple of seasons. Now I've coached with them for a couple of seasons. How do you rank this year's crop with teams you played on and coached?
I mean, these dudes are bangers, man. Like, not saying the teams in the past weren't bangers, like, because we were, these guys, they went about their work a little bit different, and like I said, I'm not knocking the guys in the past, and there's a lot of really professional guys. There's a lot of guys that got picked up, but it was really cool to see, kind of the mixture of everybody, how good everybody got, but, the level of baseball we were playing at. Like, we're talking, this was some of the best baseball I've probably seen.
To high level.
Baseball. You know what I'm saying? It was fun.
Nobody can create what we created here because nobody's going to put in the time we put in. I mean, nobody.
Unbelievable.
Just sit there and tell me that. Putting in 12, 14, 16 hours a day. My wife's up in there in prison in their little room in the clubhouse sitting with the dogs and wondering when I'm going to get done. It's like, work has to be done. That's my first step.
Yeah. It never stops. It doesn't matter.
Stops, man.
I'll tell you.
Phone blows up all night.
A great one. The night we won the league or whatever, we sat down in the office and talked for a little bit. I go upstairs. I play some Call of Duty. With Chad, we're talking about the game as we're playing, So I can't focus. I'm getting worked in the game because I can't lock in Call of Duty because I'm thinking about what we're trying to do the next day. That's where I've got to separate myself. I can't. I didn't do it there. So we stopped playing. We're like, yeah, I'm going to bed tired. Whatever. Get ready for tomorrow. Get ready for the big day tomorrow. Yeah, I hear him and Mike outside. This is how loud they were. I'm watching a show. I'm watching this Cobra Kai show, which is very corny. The Karate Kid thing. Like, I'm locked into it for some reason. I'm watching it, but thinking about the game and thinking about what we're going to do the next day. Because we still did outfield throws the day after we win the championship. Our guys are out doing outfield throws, getting ready to go. So. And I hear these guys out there, and I look out the window, and Chad's got his shirt off, Mike's got his shirt off, and they're like, boom! Chad's doing a wind-up into a pitch. I can't hear what they're saying, but it's like, the work never stops. It never stops. So you talk about 8 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours. Like, we could probably put a time on the actual time to spend, but it's constant. It's constantly going. We're trying to figure out the best ways to make these guys better. We want to produce as many big leaguers as possible. That's the whole idea. We want these guys to... And it's not even really about producing big players. We want them to be the best player they can be. Yeah. So that way there's no regret down the road when they're 45 years old and they have a couple kids, they have a family, and they're going to be the best family man they can be because of the same principles we taught them here.
100%. Routine, habits, what you're doing, how much you care, your passion for what it is you're doing. Like, nobody can replicate that. So I don't, if somebody says a league's just as good or better, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come and be a part of this for a week and then tell me if you're doing the same thing. This is the first day that I told those pitchers, like, I don't want to see you tomorrow. It's my first day off since I got here. It's like, I want to see you, man. I got this show. It's my day off. No, you're not coming out to play catch. No. We'll line up all the pitching and stuff. Yeah. We got a couple games coming up. But, no, you guys and the time you put in, for the game reports, the time you guys put in, helping with this video, that's what creates it for these guys. And anybody else saying that something is just as good or better,
nobody has this. Nobody has more.
Come on, man. Give me a break.
BY, I don't take it you're going to disagree with everybody here, are you?
And I think what Pelf hammered the last little bit of it, too, was watching these guys turn into good men after their career is over with is really what it's about. And it starts with the preparation and being realistic and having these conversations that we have with the players. The guys that showed up here to this thing are guys that really wanted to develop their career, I know some guys probably aren't financially stable enough to be able to do these things, but some guys here aren't either, and they found a way to make it work. So how important this is to their careers, and having these guys here, the grinding mentality that this isn't easy right now. It's not making any money, showing up every day, not having a clubhouse, not having a place to shower in the clubhouse after the games. They have to do it at the hotel and stuff like that. So it's a different mentality, but I think we got to see a lot of the best out of these guys during this couple months that we're here.
Easy to say, but the funnest season for me that I've ever had.
100%.
A lot of stakes were in the moment, but man, it was fun. It was awesome.
Season. Yeah,
it is. For this weekend.
It's absolutely been a blast. And the reason that I wanted to bring that up was not to hurt the feelings of Austin Wobrock and Mercurio, who are probably watching these in California.
Okay. Wobrock can handle it.
Not to take anything away. Not to take anything away from those guys or the other great players that were here in Florence, but to just make that point that even in a wacky COVID year for the fans at home, you'll want to come out to the ballpark on Friday and in Lexington Saturday and if necessary Sunday, because even in a COVID year, the wackiness, there has been zero drop-off in the talent that you're seeing night in and night out right here at UC Health Stadium. Guys, it has been an absolute blast today. I appreciate you guys letting me kind of rain in your parade, jump in the middle of the game report episode here. I know I was really starting to feel it. I needed it. But that will be it for this edition. We'll be back next week with episode 8. We're going to get to know Chad Rhoades a little bit and his background, and we're going to tell you the story of these coaches and how they're all interwoven to a special time here in Florence. And we're also going to, of course, focus on the team that wins the Battle of the Bourbon Trail next weekend in Florence and in Lexington. Thank you for your time this time. Until next time on episode 8 of the Game Report, have a great day.